Hey, welcome back to Good Deeds, Real Estate with a Mission. I'm Bill Weidecker from the Fine Homes Group at Keller Williams Realty Metropolitan. It occurred to me, Justin, in case anybody needs to reach me ever, they can reach me at 603-661-7818.
There you go.
603-661-7818. And I'll even take a text at that number if you've got further questions. We're talking all things real estate, and we gave a little update on what the market has looked like in the state of New Hampshire for the upcoming, for the first 2 months of the year. And we know that inventory is still an issue, which is a huge opportunity for property owners out there because I have worked through all markets in 40 years, and so I've seen, the average market time is about 6 weeks.
Yeah. What's it right now? 6 minutes?
It's actually, I think it's 29 days. Let's you raise a good question.
That's still longer than I thought it would be.
Well, keep in mind,
just given how few houses are on the market.
Days on market are 35 days.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So a month's time. I can remember when it was 180.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. You could actually, you could conceive and have a baby and still be in your house.
Right. I don't see a lot of real estate for sale signs now because they go on so quick that there's really no time to plant the sign in the front yard, right?
Yeah. It's in many cases, things are happening that fast.
Yeah.
I do believe that for sale signs are still valuable because people, it's kind of like, we always use analogies in some way or another to drive a point home. But it's kind of like going to the checkout line at the grocery store. In that, while you're waiting to check out, there's obviously the obvious things. Mm-hmm. It's candy and magazines, but how many times have we bought something in that checkout line that we weren't planning on buying? That's right there in front of us. You go, you know what? I do need some gum.
For me, about 100% of the time.
Yeah, and so. It really is that those things are the for sale signs in real estate.
Right.
Because, where we live, we had somebody who's our next door neighbor who bought the property because they drove by the day the sign went up.
There you go.
And the sign went up a couple of days before it was going to be active. And they literally said, I've been waiting for something to come on the market in that neighborhood. I'm buying it. So for sale signs are still pretty valuable. I wanted to talk about, I subscribe to a lot of news sources to get a sense of what's going on in the real estate market because I think it's helpful for the clients.
Sure.
Because they're not just hearing about what I think, they're hearing about what others think. And I look to curate the research because the more you can pull together information, the more valuable I believe it is. Because I always feel like people make good decisions in large numbers.
Right.
Not always the case, but in this case, there were 11 major research firms that were asked what they feel real estate prices are going to do this year. And so home price forecasts, you'll get a kick out of this. Homes.com, which is a web portal, says home prices are going to rise 5.5% this year.
Okay.
Morgan Stanley says home prices nationally are going to decrease 3% this year.
Okay.
Who's right?
That's a great question.
I'll give you my answer. Who knows?
Right. That's what I was going to say.
But really, there were 11 different research firms that were asked this question. So I gave you the top one and the bottom one. But literally, the realtor organization says nationally about 1.4% increase.
Okay.
What you need to know is of all those 11 research firms, they're predicting home prices to rise about 2.4%.
So not going to go through the roof, but the bottom is also not going to fall out either. Is what if you average all of them together and take the medium sort of rate increase or decrease, right?
Yeah. So if that happens, you're going to see this moderation in pricing because let's face it, I gave you the numbers in the first segment. Prices are up 10% for single-family homes, up over 17% for condos this year versus last year in the state of New Hampshire. That's not sustainable, Justin.
Right.
It is just not flatly not sustainable. Prices will get to a point. Affordability has never been harder or lower in the state of New Hampshire in my recent memory. And so, when I first got into the market, affordability was an issue back then because interest rates were 16%.
Yeah, like through the roof.
Yeah. And so I do believe that prices have risen to a point where, at the very, very basis level, when you get to a point where affordability becomes an issue, when the median income earner can't afford the median priced home, something's got to give.
Right.
All right. And so I do believe that we're going to see modest appreciation this year. But think of it this way. If prices are rising at 2.4% and wage growth is rising higher than that, then prices are actually, doesn't feel that way.
Right.
But prices are actually coming down.
Right. That's That's like when I go to my boss and say, "Hey, inflation's this much, my raise is this much. I'm actually taking a pay cut."
Yeah.
But I don't always. That doesn't always work out for me. But
well, just what you need to realize is that we'll get back to you next year means no.
No. But to your point, it's actually if wages keep going up, you might be able to. Affordability might be a little easier if things trend the way that the major firms think it might.
Yeah. And, I really believe that inventory nationwide is still an issue. It's definitely an issue in the state of New Hampshire.
New England's funny, too, because we're usually lagging behind the rest of the country when it comes to stuff like that, right? Or at least that's the old wives' tale. Has that been your experience? New England's kind of a lagging indicator?
Well, certain trends, trends in markets can move from west to east. But I don't feel like coming through the last 4 years of this market that we have found that the demand for housing on the coasts have been way up. So if you look at inventory, I'm generally speaking,
right.
There's more. There's a better chance of inventory in the middle part of the country versus the two coasts.
Yeah, I could go find a house in Des Moines, but who the hell wants to live in Des Moines?
Well,
no offense.
It's popular. What we do know this is that the Florida market inventory's up 45% over where it was last year.
Right.
And keep in mind we've taken on 26% more listings year to date, single family.
Yeah. But
they're all sold.
Right. Yeah. They go so quickly that it's hard to notice the difference.
Yeah. So essentially, I believe that we're going to see, we're already coming out of the chute here, close to 10.5% price increases year to date. And as I said on Chris Ryan's show on Thursday, I do believe we're going to see a stall in appreciation this year.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's going to be in the next 4 to 6 months.
Right.
And if interest rates moderate, if they come down anything significant, guess what? Affordability gets better. Yep. Demand gets better.
Right.
We're underbuilt in the state of New Hampshire, and we are underbuilt in the nation. National Association of Realtors figures it's about 5 million houses too few.
Wow.
That's what, since 2008, has happened because so much of the speculative part of the building houses has been hurt by that. And so it's going to take a mammoth effort to catch up. The country is doing what it can, but it always has to respond as opposed to anticipate.
Right.
We're good at putting fires out in this country. We really are. And so when the problems come up, we're good to fix it. Hard to prevent the fires from a government standpoint.
Smokey the Bear should have gone into real estate.
Amen. You're listening to Good Deeds Real Estate with a Mission. I'm Bill Weidecker from the Fine Homes Group. We're going to come back for our final segment. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back.